Sergio Aguero's muscle injury could rule him out for up to 8 games for Manchester City. How big of a problem? Leading the line with 13 goals so far this season.
Well, it just adds to the list, doesn't it? It's been a tough season for them in terms of injuries. However, I don't think outside of Man City's bubble there'll be many or much sympathy for a club that has spent a lot of money. So you have to deal with it. The games they've got coming up are there for all to see. I think the big games really, although the Champions League is big for them, I think is the Premier League. You know, the Premier League is the place where they are, 9 points behind. It doesn't look like Liverpool are going to make it easy for them, and so you're going to have to put a run together. It's going to have to be a great run now for the next 3 or 4 months to try and peg that back. And of course, now we're going to be asking Gabriel Jesus probably to take that load on. So it's a huge blow. Of course, it is one of the prominent strikers of this generation. But as I say, they have a plethora of attacking players, not all strikers, that can fill a bit of that void. And it's just, I don't know how long he's going to be out, but as I say, Jesus, if fit, and I believe he is going to have to step up to the plate.
How well are they fixed in terms of being able to switch it up to make the most of, let's say, Jesus or someone else filling that role? Could you play Sterling as a false 9? Could you? Yeah. How flexible is the system? Oh,
very flexible. And you could put Sterling through there, and you get Bernardo Silva, Leroy Sané when he's fit. He's injured at the moment. Kevin De Bruyne. The list goes on. And one of the troubles, the other trouble is they've got troubles at both ends of the field. Sort of sandwiched in between all these attacking players in the middle. They're having to take the load because of the defensive issues, centre half, and now the striking issues with Sergio Aguero. So as I say, it's good news for Liverpool actually, who whilst not wishing ill on their opponents, will be quite happy to see that they're having their own problems. But as I say, won't be much sympathy for Pep Guardiola because they have got one of the most prominent squads in European football. Sometimes, in fact, when they're all fit, you look at the bench and you think, wow, that's you could take this 6 or 7 on the bench and put them in almost every team in the world. So it's something they're going to have to cope with, Ross. I think they can, and they're going to have to put a run together. The bigger question is can they do that? And hopefully he's not out too long because we want to see a really good title fight.
If he finds a kind of a suitable, let's say Jesus is the answer going through the set, that would be the natural answer. Do you think that he'd want him to play a part in all of those games? Maybe not the Carabao Cup, but would you want to see him get a big run in the team? Or do you think he'll continue the rotation because he'll worry about too many minutes here, too many minutes there?
I think Jesus needs a run in the team, but I think a lot. To answer your point, it depends what the long-term prognosis is here. If we're talking long-term, we're talking a couple of months. Right. I'm not talking like 9 months. But if the prognosis is worse than expected, then he might have to put a little bit of cotton wool, as you said, around Jesus,
right?
Because he's basically left with no strikers or natural strikers if Jesus gets injured. There are other people who can fill that role. So that's all the juggling of being a manager, and injuries are part of the game, so it's part and parcel. I think Man City can cope. As I said, the big question is whether they can put a necessary run together in the Premier League, in particular, to peg back Liverpool and make it interesting. They were able to do it last year, peg Liverpool back, but they had pretty much a full squad for most of the year. They don't have that this season.
No, okay, so 3 of those Premier League games, 5 of them that we looked at Aguero possibly missing, those are away from home, including then the home game with Manchester United in the derby. So it's a bit time, it's a big gap that they've got to claw back, and they'll have to do it without their main man.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.